Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gary Shapiro.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gary Shapiro, and I'm president of the Consumer Electronics Association. That's the organization that produces and sponsors the International CES. And on behalf of CEA and its executive board, I want to welcome you to the first big official event of the CES for this year. Now, first, a bit of housekeeping. After this event tonight, there are buses from the east wing of the Hilton, which will go to all the strip hotels. So there are some cab lines as well, but if you want to get there quickly, take a bus. Now, in terms of the CES, this record-setting CES, the biggest in history, it's very appropriate tonight that Craig Barrett helps us kick it off, because Intel is a company that truly fits the CES theme of work style and lifestyle technology. While best known for its Intel Inside logo found on millions of computers, there's much more to Intel than just computer chips. This technology leader has been at the heart of the computer and the internet revolution, and is a leading manufacturer of computer, networking, and communication products. Intel's technology can be found in products and services throughout the entire CES floor. And now, Intel is moving further into the consumer electronics market. Now, Craig offers a very unique perspective on the convergence of computer and consumer electronics industries. And I think we will all be very intrigued tonight by what he has to say. So let's kick it off by bringing out a few bold guys and a few gallons of paint.
Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Berry.
Aren't those guys good? Another big hand. The only way they got me in that box was they told me the last living human being in the United States who wanted to buy a PC was in that box. I got in there, I found out I was the only person. I want to welcome you all this evening. We hope you have a great way to kick off the consumer show here. We want to talk a little bit about the personal computer tonight, where it's going, what the opportunities are with the PC. I think that there's PC, if you look at the big picture, there's really a very, very bright future for it. If you look around the planet today, not just in the US, but everywhere, you're seeing the same sort of thing happen. The world is digitizing, whether it's communication, whether it's information, whether it's the internet. We're getting more and more digital information. It's really a big digital universe. And if you look at the center of that digital universe, really kind of the central focal point for the Big Bang, really it's the core of the PC. And what we really have is that the PC is at the center of this, and we're getting lots and lots of different devices attached to the PC. And it's really not just the center of personal productivity as it has been for a long time, but it is really truly becoming where you work, learn, and play. And lots of different products associated with the PC, really the extended PC. And it's a phenomenon that's not just happening here in the US, but it goes everywhere. I visit about 35 countries a year in my job trying to promote the internet, communications, computing. And if you look at those 500 or 600 million PCs around the world today that are in operation, over half of them, probably upwards to 400 million now, are connected to the internet. And that's wonderful in its own right. It allows people to communicate with each other. It allows access to the world's information just from a desktop with a keyboard and a mouse. It's very, very exciting, but it's a lot more than that. The PC is really at the center of the internet, the main client. But what we're seeing today is, in fact, more and more devices being attached around the PC, extending the PC's influence. And these extended devices, or this extension to the PC, I think is what's really exciting today. The PC is a wonderful device for personal productivity, for computing, for accessing information. But when you start to attach other devices around to it, you give the end user more excitement, more capability, more opportunity to do things, whether it's audio things or video things or communication things. But the key to all of this is really to have a very powerful central processing unit to get the best consumer experience. And really we want to talk tonight a little bit about this extended PC era, what's happening as we really go away from just personal productivity to expand the PC's influence and put more and more consumer devices in contact with it. We'll give you some examples of a few scenarios of how consumers use PCs, and then we'll get to the best part, or my favorite part of the presentation tonight. We'll bring a few youngsters, young people out on the stage. I call them the internet generation. Those folks who were born after the PC was invented. You know, it's only 20 years ago that the first IBM PC came out, so all of those in the audience who are under 20 can associate with what it's like to always have had the PC here. And the PC is really helping to produce this digital universe, but the digital universe is really happening as more and more analog devices go digital. Whether it's audio, whether it's video, whether it's still images, whether it's animation, whatever it is. More and more of these devices are going digital, and more of them are getting connected to the PC. And I think I guess I knew that was going to happen. But if you look at the excitement of some of these devices, and what I want to do is just go through a number of them very briefly for you. Digital cameras, millions of these are sold each year. They're everywhere from simple, personal, relatively low-resolution digital cameras to professional cameras, still and motion photography capable, able to take photographs, instantly download them onto a PC, manipulate them, send them to people. So the PC is there for showing them, for sharing them, for editing, printing, and even to put video streaming in the PC. Lots of excitement in that space. If you look at audio, we've got music players, MP3 music systems. We're about to introduce the Intel Pocket Concert audio player. These devices hold for a couple hours, up to 20 hours of high-quality music. They don't have any moving parts. Everything's encoded in flash memory. They're absolutely random access. But the PC is there for encoding these tracks from CDs onto these devices and for organizing, storing, and uploading that information to the audio player. If we look at digital video cameras, this is high-quality video or audio, connecting those devices, and millions of these devices are sold each year. We can download their contents directly to a PC for editing with a simple high-speed FireWire 1394 connection. And you can edit on the PC and then send the information off for viewing on another consumer electronic device, viewing on the PC, or posting it on the web for other people to view. Lots of excitement there. If you look at the possibility and the concept of electronic books or e-books, where you have all of that digital content on your PC and you're able to just download that onto a simple display device and carry that display device with you for the demonstration and viewing of that rich digital content. It really extends the portability of the PC, extends that ability to take that information which is stored on the PC anywhere with you at any time. Obviously eliminates the need for paper, but a very exciting extension to the PC as a productivity device. We've got wireless peripherals and all sorts of new and exciting wireless peripherals. I think one of the more exciting is a chat pad, which is a wireless internet instant messaging device. This basically enables wireless connectivity to your PC for instant messaging over the internet. So basically wireless connection from the chat pad to the PC, to your ISP, to the internet. Lots of devices like this. We've worked over the last couple of years, initially with Mattel and now on our own, to produce a series of toys for young children. Extension devices to the PC. One of my favorite is the Intel QX3 microscope. Basically a very simple microscope, USB connection to a PC, enables you to capture the image under the microscope, store it, forward it, put it in a report, whatever you want. I happened to give one of these to my grandson a year ago for Christmas. It was absolutely the best Christmas present he ever got. At least that's what he told me. He had his two sisters out in the backyard collecting insects the entire Christmas day, bringing them in and putting them on the microscope and catching images of them. Not only can you capture that image, you can manipulate it, as I said. You can store it, you can send it, you can put it in a report. Another one of these toys is something called the Sound Morpher. This is a digital sound recording device that enables young children to capture sounds or their voice.
I am Zorg, ruler of the universe.
And that's pretty cool that they can capture their voice in an audio file and then send that or play with it. But even the best part is what you can do is then edit it or filter it or change that voice.
absorb, ruler of the universe.
Maybe I ought to change my voice for the rest of the presentation, but another one of these devices is really that is an extension of the PC and really enabling the PC to do more and more things, are really the portable digital assistants. And we have one behind me, which is really the compact iPac PDA. And these are digital assistants with color displays. They organize personal information. But their real value, I think most of us recognize, is their adjuncts to the PC. They're peripherals to the PC. They can have wireless connectivity. They can be synchronized with the PC. They play music. They play video. But it's a synchronization that allows easy management of information, whether it's resident on your PC or you can take it with this PDA with you any place, anytime. If you add up all of these devices, what you're really seeing is that the center of each one of these activities is a personal computer. That's where the processing power is. That's where the action is. But these other devices extend the range, extend the user interface. And there's lots of excitement going on in this space. There's obviously Intel's providing more processing power. Microsoft is improving the human interface, the user interface, improving the operating system. Thousands of companies are providing application software or devices of the type we're talking about. Every one of these companies really participates, though, in expanding the universe around the PC. And it's almost as if we're compounding the importance or compounding the capability of the PC in this process. And we have lots of examples of when you have things connected on a network or things connected to each other, that the value of that network is more than just the individual parts. You know, Metcalfe's law, and which was really proven out with the internet, is that the value of a network goes as a square of the number of nodes on the network. I think really increasingly the value of the PC is really associated with the number of these consumer interface devices we have attached to the PC. And you could talk about this as, you know, PC to the X power or the expanded PC. But it really says is that the value of the PC to the user grows exponentially as we have more capabilities attached to the PC. And that's, I think, really the tenor of the presentation that I want to make tonight. This concept of the extended PC, how people will use this in the future, how they'll use that processing power. And, you know, it's been a lot of fun for the last 10 or 15 years talking about increasing the speed of microprocessors and making PCs run faster. And they'll do Excel spreadsheets faster, they'll do word processor, they'll do graphics faster. But I think it's increasingly important to look at that processing power and the advances in that processing power when it's attached to these other devices. These devices which deal with rich media, rich audio, rich video, animation, voice recognition, all the sort of devices that we want to talk about tonight. And what we're going to do is give you an example, but I think the first way to do this is to think about what's going to happen in the future. And it's interesting to look at the future two respects. The concept of the number of PCs in the future, and also the concept of the number of cellular phones in the future. And don't mind all this rearranging of furniture behind me. We need to do that to get on with some other demonstrations. But if you look very simply out about 3 years to 2003, there's forecasted there'll be over 1 billion cell phones. If you look at the forecast in about 2004, it's forecasted there'll be 1 billion users on the internet, 1 billion PCs connected to the internet. There's been lots of talk in the press and different companies about, well, are these two things really in competition with one another? Is the PC going to be replaced by the cell phone? And when we get to the 2.5 generation or the third generation of cell phone, we get high digital bandwidth to the cell phone. Are we all going to surf the net on that 4 by 6 centimeter screen on the cell phone? I think not. I really think the value of high bandwidth to the cell phone, high bandwidth to the PC and connectivity between the PC and the cell phone is what the end user wants. That sort of extension of the PC and its capability, the internet and its capability, really is going to bring the end user more capability. So it's the combination of those two devices which is going to be exciting. So what I want to do is we'll talk about this seamless access of information on PC and wireless devices. And we'll do this with a form of a little demo. I think we'll do this with a demo. Aha, I knew we got to do it with a demo. What do we got here?
Hi, Craig. What I'd really like to show you here is where handheld technology is going. What I have here is a device called the PCE phone. And it's an integrated high-end PDA with a cell phone built in. So this is a really cool device.
This is wireless connectivity back to a PC, right?
Yes, it does. But let me show you something even cooler that I'm carrying around here. The stylus for the PCE phone uses Bluetooth technology as well and connects into the PCE phone. And now I have a wireless handset that I can use to make phone calls via the cell phone built into the device.
So what we're talking about is really an expansion, PC to PDA to cell phone or e-phone.
Exactly.
Synced together wirelessly, and we can probably demonstrate that to the audience, can't we?
That's correct. Now what we're going to show here is, given that this is a Bluetooth-enabled device, we take a couple steps over here to this PC. As long as I bring it in range of this Bluetooth-enabled PC, what we're seeing is that it is automatically syncing up with the PC. You see, I'm having my text messages and voice messages automatically transferred up to the PC and available to me in one easy-to-use place, the PC, truly showing and demonstrating the concept of the extended PC.
So that sort of hot syncing would happen when we get walking around your house, you get within,
say, 30 feet.
30 feet, 10 meters of your PC, hot synced,
Exactly.
Automatically download, synchronize the messages back and forth.
Yes, without any user intervention. And in the future, many devices, practically all devices, will sync up with the PC in this fashion.
Super. Thanks, Kirk.
Great. Thanks.
That's a simple example, and that's available technology, and that's when you're bringing your PDA, your cell phone, and your PC together. And I think what we're going to see as we go forward is the continued convergence of that type of technology, not competition, but convergence of the technology in bringing the end user a lot more excitement about what's going on. Now, that was how you combine wireless communications in the PC. There's another aspect which I think is very important here, and that's browsing on the internet and doing it in a wireless fashion. Let's just imagine, for example, that you went up to your PC and you launched your browser and you're on the net, and what you wanted to do is just kind of pick that browser up off the screen and carry it with you anywhere in the house such that you could access the internet. Wouldn't that be a cool device and a cool consumer use and bring more value to the user? Well, that's the demo we want to show you now, and Andre's going to help me with that. He's sitting here lounging in his couch, watching television on a Sunday afternoon.
How you doing, Craig? Sit down.
Good. Why don't you show the audience what you have here?
Great. So ever since the holidays, my little boy over there has been hogging our Pentium 4-based system.
Your little boy doesn't have much hair, by the way.
So we got a major contention problem at home. So at Intel, we've developed this product. It's the web tablet, we call it. It's live on the web right now and wireless and connected to that Pentium 4-based system over there via a any-point wireless home network. So I could be within 150 feet of that PC in another room, like I'm sitting here, and use the PC's existing internet connection and the PC's resources, such as the printer, for example, all linked into my lap.
Even while your little boy is playing games over there.
Even while he's playing games. In fact, even while he's on the web, we're sharing the connection.
Why don't you give us a demo of that?
Sure. So sitting here in the sofa like this, what we've done is develop this product to be an extension of the PC, much like we've talked about. And one thing I like to do at home is watch racing and cruise the web while I'm doing it. In fact, it's a great way to look up information relevant to the broadcast.
This is called telewebbing?
Yeah, people call it telewebbing. In fact, DataQuest believes 44 million people engaged in this alone just this past year, even though it's kind of hard to do today because you got to move your PC and your TV together.
Okay, well, let's show us how easy it is.
Sure. So one of my favorite drivers is Michael Schumacher. So I can get here on the web, type his name, execute a search, and boom, I get a search result with all kinds of neat information about him.
Michael Schumacher.
Yeah. Well, he's a great driver.
He's a European, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Andre.
All right. So, in fact, he's got a great book out. In fact, why don't we go to Barnes & Noble here and see what they got to offer? I heard he's got a new biography out, his Ferrari years. Here it is, coming in from Barnes & Noble. Again, live, wirelessly.
How much?
How much the book? $23.96. You want one?
Yeah, buy me a copy. I should
right.
learn about Schumacher.
All right,
All
good.
right.
We'll add them to the cart here. 1, 2, done. On their way. If I hit this print button here now, I'll get my receipt printed out. And of course, it's hard to print with a device like this. But again, with the PC, extended PC concept, we can just spool right off that printer at home.
Fantastic.
In retail later this year.
No commercial announcements. Those are the type of devices which will be hitting the market lately or soon. And again, wireless connectivity, extension of the PC, multi-user aspect to it. Someone can be doing whatever they want in the PC, wireless connectivity through the PC, out to the internet, and really full connectivity to do that. Really extending the capability, extending the reach, extending the value of the central digital nervous system of the PC to the consumer. If you kind of follow the theme of the presentation tonight with the Blue Men Group, and we really look out into the blue and the things that are coming in the future, one of those is peer-to-peer computing. And most of you are familiar with peer-to-peer computing, at least an aspect of that, which is the concept of Napster. Napster has 40 million users now. Basically, it's a kind of a directed form of peer-to-peer computing where you go through a server, but you're accessing information stored on someone else's hard drive. It is obviously possible to do that same sort of thing without a central kind of directory server, but just going directly over the internet from one PC to another. This has great consumer applications. It also has lots of other exciting applications. For example, the SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, has been ganging together the processing power of hundreds of thousands of computers to analyze data coming in from outer space for some period of time. People are looking to do the same sort of thing to do basically global weather mapping capability and global warming calculations when they're looking to have literally millions of computers hooked up together. Many companies use this technique today to take all the processing power and the storage capability of their workstations. We at Intel, for example, have our 10,000 design engineers. All of their computers are working together in a peer-to-peer network where one engineer can get access to the compute power of the other 10,000 workstations at any given time. Now, there are lots and lots of exciting consumer applications here beyond Napster, and I don't want you to just think of this as a Napster-like device. Think of it as we have a computer, we have some information on that computer, rich information, rich multimedia information, and we want to share that with other people. We don't want to post it on the web, but we want to share that information. We're going to do another quick demo for you, and Diana's going to come out and show you what we can do in that space.
Hi, Craig.
Hi.
Today I'd like to show you a very cool peer-to-peer application called Popster. Now, Popster lets you do personal video broadcasting. You're, of course, familiar with the Pocket PC camera from our extended PC world. All you need for Popster is a camera like this, any digital video camera, and a powerful PC. If you'd like to come over here, and I'll start up Popster to give you a better idea of what I'm talking about.
All right, let's see it.
Okay, now let's see. On this machine, we have a video of a recent wedding. So I'm going to play it from this computer, and it's going to be broadcast to a couple of computers over here. So shortly after it's broadcast from here, you should see this video showing up on the screens over there. Now this wedding is actually a really good example of a Popster application because it took place in Hawaii. Since it's in Hawaii, Popster allows the bride and groom to broadcast the ceremony live to all the friends and family who may not have been able to attend. Now, I mentioned that it's a peer-to-peer application, and that's important because that means that the content stays on your PC. It's under your control, and you decide who gets to see it. It's not like putting it on a website where the whole world can take a look at it.
Okay, so this is truly a peer-to-peer, computer-to-computer, basically over the internet, but there's no intermediary server that's storing the data.
Exactly. Directly from you to whoever you want to see it.
Great.
And I should mention, you're probably interested in how the Pentium 4 can help in this situation.
It did cross my mind, yes.
Well, I'm happy to tell you that using the Pentium 4 greatly enhances your Popster experience. It allows you to increase the number of viewers who can simultaneously watch your wedding video or whatever your video is, and it greatly increases the quality of the video that you're able to broadcast as well. So the Pentium 4 is definitely, I think of it as the 3 Ps, Pentium 4, Popster, peer-to-peer, something like that.
A lot of P's in there something.
Yeah, it's a little
Okay.
tricky.
Thanks, Diana.
Thanks, Greg.
There's lots of work going on in the industry now on peer-to-peer, and I think you'll see a lot of exciting applications of this type and many others coming forward. Another one is really that is forthcoming is to use the PC, which is really at the center of this digital universe, to be the purveyor of the rich information that comes into the home. And as we get increasingly high bandwidth into the home, where you have the ability to bring in lots and lots of rich digital information, you have the ability to manipulate, separate, redirect, store that information on your PC. Using your PC really is the central nervous system for the entertainment capability of the home, I think is going to be increasingly important. And this is not, I'm going to watch movies on my PC. You may want to do that in your den, but you may well want to watch content which is stored or being trafficked by your PC on your TV set in your living room or someplace else. So the concept really of the PC as a media center, obviously the PC is able to store more and more rich information each year. We have 20 gig hard drives, 40 gig hard drives. And the only thing that's growing faster than processing power is probably memory storage density on hard drives. Ability to store immense amounts of rich information on your hard drive. Being able now to use that PC to move that content out of the study and into the living room is important as a concept. And Patty's going to do a demo for us, and we're going to acknowledge here that Warner Home Video has given us some content to show you here. But Patty, show is yours.
Hi, Craig. If I had to guess, and you're living in a typical household, in your living room you probably have a collection of CDs, movies. On your PC you might have MP3 songs, maybe some internet content you've stored, maybe some digital photos that have been emailed to you, and maybe even tucked away in a box you have a box full of photos stored in your bedroom closet or in a cabinet somewhere.
Well, you're certainly right about the latter, and it's not a box, it's an entire closet full of photos.
Well, all of that content can be stored on your PC, but like you said, it would be nice to be able to enjoy it in your living room. And in the living room of the future, you can with a device like the Media Center, which is a concept demo we'd like to show you today.
All right, let's show the audience what works.
So for example, here are my vacation photos.
You obviously went to the UK.
Yes. And as you can see, my photos aren't stored in a box. They're stored here on the PC. But enough of my vacation, because there's a lot more stuff that this can do. I mean, imagine your entire family collection of content stored all in one place, but easily enjoyed really anywhere in the home because your extended PC can wirelessly deliver that content on demand to whatever room you're in with devices like the Media Center. So now you see we have a great selection of movies. So anytime I want to watch a movie with my family or friends in the living room or my boss, all I have to do is select the movie, and then the movie will stream from the PC over to my Media Center, where my Media Center can provide it in full DVD quality. And I've actually selected a particularly exciting scene from The Perfect Storm just for you. Are you ready?
I'm ready for this.
That is so cool.
That guy looks like he's ready to catch about 25 marshmallows in his mouth, doesn't he?
Thanks, Craig.
Okay, thank you. The message we're trying to get across here, and we'll show you some more demos in just a moment, but is really that the personal computer is at the center of all of these activities. It's really the digital brains, which is handling, storing, manipulating, distributing this information, helping to capture it in some places, but helping to replay it in others. We've architected the latest generation of our microprocessor, the Pentium 4 microprocessor, specifically for this. It's architected not to run Word faster, because you can't type any faster than you type today, and a gigahertz processor puts those words on your letter or on your memo, and it puts the numbers on your spreadsheet faster than you can type them in. We architected the processor really to handle rich multimedia information, whether it's for voice recognition, whether it's for animation, whether it's for gaming, whether it's for showing video or capturing video or images. Whatever it may be to deal with rich information, that's what the processor was targeted for. And we're really trying to put more performance, more processing power into these PCs for a purpose. And that purpose is really to give the end user greater benefit, greater user experience. And if we think as the internet continues to evolve, we see more peer-to-peer processing, more communication, more rich information in the home, higher bandwidth. All of those new capabilities will require new processing power, more processing power for a rich user experience. So all these new ways of using information, seeing information, manipulating information, accessing the internet, all of this is increasingly important. And it's really the powerful PC which we think will play an increasing role in this extended PC world of the future. So what we're trying to do here is design capability that the end user can benefit from. Put the performance where you need it the most. Now, what I want to do is go run through a quick series of about 6 demos with Michelle, showing you the sort of things you can do. And we're just going to run through these real fast to give you just a flavor of each one of these things. But I think you'll see instances in every one of the demos that you could use in your own home and get excited about going forward. So Michelle, why don't you show us what we have here?
Sure, Craig. Well, I'm not going to geek out on you right now because we don't care as consumers. I want to know how my extended PC can really add to my experience here. Now, what I have here is Canon's EJ. I love to rip CDs, and what I mean by that is I love to put them in MP3 format.
Well, you really mean you love to legally copy CDs and not violate copyrights, right?
Right.
Rip is the wrong word. Use a different word.
Not rip off.
Or not rip off. No, no. Copy. Encode. Okay? All right. Continue. Continue.
Well, what I've done here is I have chilling out music. This is my favorite thing here. And what I've done is I've put my CD in, and I'm ready to put this over to MP3 format. So it's as simple as right-clicking and converting it into an MP3 format. Now, what used to happen in the past is the encoding, or what we call the baking process, would take a long time. You used to be able to get up and go get a cup of coffee. I don't do that anymore. I wait a matter of seconds, and it's here.
I love it. And if we made the processor run even faster, would it happen even faster?
Yes, it would be.
All right, that's cool.
Another thing is once it's done with the MP3, converting it to the MP3, you can put it instantly into, for here I have the Intel audio player, and it works quite well.
All right. What else have you got to show us?
Well, Craig, do you know what an LP is?
And record, those plastic discs look like a big hard drive disc, right? So I'll bet somebody in the audience even has one.
Well, what I have here is this is cleaned by Steinberg, and this looks a little hard to use, but it's really not. You just plug this into the back of your computer, and you put in your record player or your tape deck or even your 8-track player, and it goes ahead and digitizes these things. Now, what I've done here is I'm going to play a file that I uploaded and digitized, and you can go ahead and listen to it now. Do you hear the cracks and the pops?
Yeah, it sounded like my old stereo.
Well, what you can do with this is I'm going to go ahead and stop it. We'll restart it to the same area so that everybody can hear it. And I'm going to go ahead and play it. And now, as you can hear, it's stopped. It's adding the effects here. And these have been optimized for the Pentium 4. So it's encoding, and it's really taking advantage of that power.
So you're encoding it real time, but you're also filtering out the bad stuff and
that's
making
correct.
it sound cool. All right,
And
great.
you can digitize it.
All right. All right. What else? I'm getting excited now.
Well, instead of making people watch 2 to 3 hours of my snowboarding video, I've edited it down to about a 30-second clip. Now, this was very cumbersome in the past. You sit around and you wait for it to go into your computer. Well, that's not the case anymore. What I have here is MGI's Video Wave 4, and I'm going to go ahead and just pull out a special or a clip that I've done, and I've looped it. And watch as I just go ahead and I throw these effects over there. Now, this is happening on the fly in real time. It's not chunking along. And that's where you have the power of the Pentium here.
So this is real-time editing of a video clip, and it's really the processor that's doing all the work in the background.
Mm-hmm. So when I've done the special effects, the music overlays, the transitions here, I went ahead and encoded it, or like I said in the past, and baked it. And I went ahead and put it on my friend Chad's website. We're going to go ahead and click it.
Chad live in Florida?
Why, yes, he does. And as you can go ahead and watch, this is a 30-second clip, and we took this just from a digital video camera, but you can also take it from, your old school cameras.
Was that you or Chad?
No, it was Chad.
Okay.
So there we have a great example of how you can go ahead and use this on your Pentium 4.
All right. Good. We're just getting started. Let's go through a couple more of these and show the audience what you can do.
Sure. Now, that was one cool thing that you can do with this, and you put it on the web. But we have other things that are on the web. For instance, we have the Onto filter utility. And to geek out on you a little bit, basically what that is a plugin. And once you go to a site that contains the plugin, it recognizes your system and it goes ahead and puts this on. Now, when you stream content, I don't know if you've ever seen it where it's pixelated or fuzzy.
All the time. All the time. There's not enough bandwidth to give you a clear image. And you're probably going to tell me you're going to use the Pentium processor to clear up that image, right? Get rid of those pixels?
Yes, I am. But actually what I'm going to tell you is this is actually not bandwidth. You can use a low bandwidth connection here, and it smooths this out, as you can see. It's relatively, it's not pixelated like over here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up an example of what's going to be on the market soon. And this is by Titus. Or excuse me, this is... I'm going to blow that up for you. And notice how it's smooth. You can hear the video content, or see the video content there and hear the audio.
Victorious!
This is an example of the low bandwidth connection.
So this is basically low bandwidth in. Processing power basically compensates for that low bandwidth and really cleans up the image and fools you into thinking you've got a high bandwidth connection.
That's correct.
For a good resolution.
Super
Better
cool.
user experience.
And I've also got a great example of power here. Power with a purpose besides just gaming. Let me bring you over here. This is Skyline, and what I'm going to do is, as you can see, we have a texture map here. And I'm going to go ahead and take us in. Now, what this is doing is 3D rendering in real time. It's taking satellite pictures, texture mappings, and it's overlaying them. And as you can see, we are flying into a listing right now. This is good for real estate development planning, or if you're going to go on vacations.
Even filtered out all the smog in LA too, I see. That's very good.
And there we go. And it's going to stop at the neighborhood so you can take a look at what's going on and how far it is to your local tennis club.
So this is basically just rendering great amount of detail, great amount of information on the fly as we move around.
You really need the power for this because as you can see, it's instantly doing it and you're seeing the detail and it's trying to smooth it out. So it's a good example of, what you can experience in the future.
Good, come on. You're doing pretty good with all this action. What else have you got?
Sure. Well, what we have here is it's a great, we have the Pentium 4 system with a high-end graphics card.